What up, YouTube? This is the Council of Trolls. I know I'm a new face. My name is Willy Shakes.
Willy.
Good to see you, man. Thank you. Off to my right over here, I got little Vinny. And then off to the left, you probably know him as OG Vestuto or just Vestuto, whichever one he wants to go by. I don't know what you go by.
Too many anymore. Too many.
Okay. Psycho Vinny. Anywho, but this is going to be a little bit different. We're going to be talking about, we call it a Let's Talk. So what we're going to be talking about today is on Thursday, everybody knows that the Game Show Awards took place. There was a lot of winners, losers, upsets, and then also we got to see, yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. You definitely know what I'm talking about. And then also we have video game reveals, trailers that we all were very, very excited for.
Oh my God.
And we'll get to that later on in this episode. But first off, what do you guys want to start off with? You want to go with trailers?
Let's start out with the big news, which is the confirmation that God of War was the game of the generation.
Dang, you're starting it like
game
that.
of the generation.
Out there.
I mean, guys, what else can you say? First off, not a single Xbox game nominated on this. Second off, God of War, after being out for over half a year, still overtook the hype train of Red Dead. That says a lot.
Only 1 month out, Red Dead at that. And it stole a lot of rewards. I just think it was rigged.
You think it was rigged?
It was rigged. There's no way. Red Dead is a classic. You'll be playing Red Dead for the next 6 years. You're barely playing God of War for the next 6 days.
Hold on.
Facts.
To say it's rigged is pretty absurd. They gave Red Dead some awards to show its respect, but at the end of the day, a cowboy story is not as powerful as an epic tale of a demigod. That's just not how the world works, gentlemen, and that's exactly why God of War came at the top. Not only that, but the combat is superb. So I think what I need right here is a formal acceptance from Vestuto that God of War is the game of the generation.
Of this whole generation.
The whole generation.
No. It's not even better than Overwatch.
Would you not even give it Game of the Year?
No, I would have gave it to Red Dead, of course I would have.
Wow. I mean, what else can you say about this man?
In all his defense, how many times have you played and completed God of War?
I'm on my second playthrough right now.
Second playthrough. How far are you in Red Dead?
Like hours-wise?
Okay. So, Game of the Year means you can play through it multiple times, or is it an ongoing game?
I mean, Game of the Year doesn't necessarily mean either one of those things. It can mean either one of those things, and that's why Red Dead and God of War were nominated. It just so happened to be the case that God of War was the victor.
I'm going to say, I thought Spider-Man was a way better game than God of War.
Spider-Man did have good graphics.
So, you are not hurt at all by the fact that not a single Xbox game was nominated.
Things happen. We're on a rebuild. You're fine, man. We're good. We're good.
I mean, you guys got your best racer, I guess, so...
we did get an award. We did get an award.
Forza.
Alright, well, we both have, or they both have what they wanted to say on that one. Let's move on to the next one, multiplayer game. Fortnite, Call of Duty, Monster Hunter, Sea of Thieves, and also Destiny 2 were in that. You know, neither any of us are much of a Fortnite player.
No, not at all.
Well, I can understand it because of the hype that went through with Fortnite. You could not see Fortnite for like months. It was just there in front of you all the time. But I think that was the best category. That could have went either way. Because I thought Black Ops 4 was a great multiplayer to really push that, Call of Duty brand back into being, something. Destiny 2 I put a lot of time into, and, the great DLC they did, it could have went to everybody. But I understand Fortnite winning. I can't be mad. Yeah. He deserved it.
I wasn't shocked by it.
Are we all a little disappointed, though, in Sea of Thieves?
I was disappointed when I played the game.
But it did get on there. Let's just say it was on there.
The fact it was on there. It was
another exclusive.
It's strange.
We're just making little knocks at the door.
Oh, so now nominations count. Okay. Okay, now nominations count. But that's fine. That's fine.
Alrighty. Well, this one's a big one in all of our hearts because we are huge with fighting games.
Oh.
we have a trailer that took place, but we're not going to get to that one just yet. We're going to leave that for last because there's going to be a lot.
Don't tease me now.
There's a lot of trash talking going on. But one that will be in the awards next year. We're not going to get to that. I'm going to keep teasing you on that one though. But we do have the fighting game was Dragon Ball Z, Street Fighter 5. You have BlazBlue, and then you also have Soul Calibur 6. You know, we all played pretty much all those games. You know, which ones did you think?
Again,
you think Dragon Ball Z won, or is it?
I'm not as mad that Dragon Ball Z won.
Yeah,
you know, it's still huge for Evo. You know, it's one of the bigger games that took over Mortal Kombat and Injustice. You know, Street Fighter is too, but
Street Fighter had been out though.
Yeah,
that's a confusing thing about it.
See,
Street Fighter
maybe it's because I don't know that game like that. Sorry, I don't have a PlayStation to play.
It certainly doesn't.
I don't play garbage, but I don't know, maybe there's a lot of DLC that was added to the game, so
they had
relevant still.
They had a whole like arcade edition that they came out with afterwards, and
that's cool.
And the fact Dragon Ball Z is still very, very popular.
So
we're gonna take
anime wise and the game wise, you know. So I'm not really mad at that one either.
We're all in agreement on that one.
Oh, I would say I kind of rooted. I rooted for Soul Calibur because I grew up playing Soul Calibur and I wanted it to win just for the sake of winning. I didn't have much vested in this category though. You know, I wasn't really that heavy into these fighting games.
You look like a Yoda player.
No. I was all Siegfried all the way through. Yeah, I touched on with the apprentice son, but Siegfried was the guy. Yeah.
Okay.
Touch that Yoda mess.
Alright, so we're all in agreement that Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah,
okay.
I can respect that.
Alright, cool. Well, the next one that was huge is the studio/game direction. This one, again, God of War took with Sony Interactive and Santa Monica Studios, but you also had Insomniac Games with the Spider-Man, Rockstar, obviously with Red Dead, and then of course, pay for me EA Sports. Or just EA, really. EA Arts.
Okay.
Let's all.
So what's the word?
It was direction.
Just the studio, not the game itself, but
just the studio.
The studio.
See, I can really understand Rockstar not getting this one then too, because they're constantly giving you a classic every time. Like,
well, it's not that. It's that they are improving upon the same thing pretty much. God of War completely turned things around. Completely. They kept like fundamental aspects to it, but it's a different game from the ground up than any of the other 6 or 7 games that have been out in the past decade.
Hack and slash, I guess. If that's what you want to play.
I mean, it's an epic hack and slash. You can't just call it a fun little.
It's in a new direction.
That's like calling Devil May Cry a platformer, a fun little platformer.
I think that's the OG and the best of the hack and slash games out there.
Was Devil May Cry out before God of War?
No, Devil May Cry, 4, dropped out.
No, I just mean like when the franchise
started. 5's about to drop, or which one came out first? I want to say it was Devil May Cry. Deep down, I want to say.
Look, anyways, they deserve that credit. They completely did things from the ground up. Rockstar, they do an amazing job. But once again, it's improvements upon that. It's not completely changing.
So you're saying keeping it at an A+, you don't get an award for that for staying at an A+, constantly going for an A+, but a B goes to a B+, and
it wasn't a B+. It won Game of the Year.
So you're saying if it's an A+ or Game of the Year, you can't get any better?
If it's Game of the Year overall, it is the best game in every aspect.
But can it get better?
Yes. It's Game of the Year in relation to that year itself. That doesn't mean that it's reached the ceiling.
From Grand Theft Auto 5 to Red Dead 2, Rockstar kind of, really progressed Grand Theft Auto 5 mechanics into this. So you're not looking at the whole picture. The mechanics that, Rockstar put into this.
They didn't change fundamentally, not fundamentally, but they didn't change really core things about it.
They made a good cinematic view in the game so you could really enjoy the scenery.
Dude, taking it from a third eye perspective, a bird's view, all the way to an over-the-shoulder, completely changing how you do the combat. Completely changing the mythos and adding a lot of depth to the character critics. They took a lot of risks, the studio did.
I give them credit. When I first saw it, it made me want to buy a PlayStation, but that's pretty good. I had a little bit of a PlayStation fever there for a second, but then I realized where my money's at,
This is disgusting. This is disgusting.
But no, they did a great job. I give them props for that. That was a very great game.
Can you give God of War its props?
It was
before the year is up. Can you give God of War its props?
It was a cool game. Cool.
When
I played it, I didn't have to jump back right into it after I got done playing. I was like, oh, that was okay. You know, good waste of time. Good hour and a half gone. That's fine.
But you enjoy making coffee as a cowboy more than...
Oh, always.
Okay.
Solidified.
Just I want to put that on record.
That is cowboy out there.
All right. So now we are off of the awards.
Okay.
Let's talk about the trailers. I'm gonna drop a couple trailers. I hope you all watch them.
It's all of them.
We had the first one that I thought was pretty unique was Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3: The Black Order.
Yeah.
I'm
got
pretty
me hyped.
Yeah. So that one, if you played the other ones, like I do remember. Basically, there's two games that showed up on them trailers that I liked, and the first one was that, and the second one was Hades. And the reason why is because it reminded me of Diablo. Big fan of the Diablo series, so you could sit on the couch with your friends and play both those games.
I thought Atlas stole the show gaming community wise. Not for me. There's a different trailer that stole the show, but Atlas was 40,000 people per server. Like that is nuts. How good that game looked and how clean it looked already.
Well, yeah, and I want to touch on this Marvel game. It just looks like a lot of fun, and it looks like a perfect fit for the Switch.
Adding the X-Men in with them now, finally.
Oh God,
that's huge.
That was huge.
Thanos at the end. Boy.
Yeah, they're going the right direction with it, and it's good to see Switch get a exclusive that isn't Mario or Donkey Kong or Kirby.
Right. I know I was sad that Metro didn't get announced. I really thought that was going to be Switch's haymaker, but maybe there's, again, you can save it.
You got to save it.
Yeah.
You got to be mindful of when you reveal this stuff because you got to be able to keep up that hype for it.
I want to say something about the awards, and I was disappointed at first, but when I sit back at it, the right kind of trailers that they did it perfectly. You know, because they didn't take away from what E3 is going to be. You know what I mean? So they couldn't give you like All-Star.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And they gave us little just teases, you know, enough to get me through until
right.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's exciting. Like they did that so well. I thought, you know.
You know, they had to be really careful with how much they showed. Think of it this way: if they showed like 5 slobber knocker games, the expectations next year
in a way they
are going to be this high.
In a way they kind of did. The other games you got to think about are Far Cry. That's another big
trade. But it's
the Far Cry really got me happy because it's like back to back. It's like good stuff. Ubisoft, keep it coming.
But it's not a high profile like, oh, this game exists and this is what we're working on. And Atlas. Can we just talk about Atlas? Can we just talk about Atlas?
Right ahead.
I want this game to be what it sounds like. So freaking bad.
I wouldn't mind if they push it back. Don't come out laggy. Make it exactly like this game looks so great. This could be a game changer.
Playing Ark, first off, Ark was way too grindy of a game for me. If I have to grind that hard to get any type of enjoyment out of a game, it's not worth it to me.
We had great times on Ark though.
It was fun.
We had some hilarious moments shutting down the server. That was
but I mean, to that point, that's the game.
You and I
was pretty buggy.
It was buggy, but also you remember when you and I were up on a hill and we got surrounded by another clan.
But it's interactions like that make me look forward to Atlas, because if you have that kind of world dynamic to it and you're adding a whole city building and who knows what, if you have kind of politics and stuff like that, that's great, but I don't know.
It's like building a civilization and going against the world. Like,
that
game looks so great.
I want it to be what it should be, but I don't know. I don't think I can pull it off.
Hey,
sorry, I just don't.
40,000 people still. That just blows my mind.
Oh my God.
40,000 people.
I mean, that is huge, but also we got other games like the Fallout developers or programmers, I forget which one it was, on Outer Worlds.
Oh, Obsidian. Yeah.
Looked
So
nice.
It looked nice.
It looked nice.
It reminded me of the original Fallout series.
It looks better than Sesame City.
Yeah, a lot of people said
We're
that.
not gonna say that, but that's exactly.
Why not? What happened? Did they get bad reviews or something?
The community has spoken.
Oh, okay. The community. Okay.
But yeah, so I'm pretty excited to see what.
You didn't get it?
No, we didn't get it all.
Why not? Why not?
I had Red Dead.
Oh, you had Red Dead. Okay.
Had to choose between the two.
Gotcha.
Money was tight that day.
Money was tight.
But anyways, and then we have the one with Halo developers, Scavengers. They didn't show much, so we don't know really what the gameplay is about.
Yeah.
So hopefully they should release more in the future on that one. So I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
Look cool.
But, I mean,
Yeah, it's like a teaser just doesn't get me.
What more can you say?
Yeah, right. You know what I mean? Like, cool. It's like an image. I can see it, but I want to, see it.
Yeah.
Show me what is this going to be about?
Right.
Really, it's just it can be anything.
and then 2 classics were also brought to the table that night.
Mm-hmm.
Crash Team Racing was one of them.
Yeah.
I remember from when we were little, I played that game, and then also
It's great that they brought that back.
Mario Kart. So, could Crash Team Racing be the next Mario Kart for the newest generation?
I think what's going to make this game better than Mario Kart, and excuse my words, I know what I'm saying, is I can play online with my friends, with everybody on my Xbox now. Like, we don't have to all get a Switch to play Mario Kart. We got Crash, a great $40 spend no matter what.
And it's roughly the same kind of game.
Yeah, same exact thing, you know what I mean? So it's
Mario
like, the online is going to be huge for Crash Team Racing. I think it's going to sell well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's a pretty much a new market in gaming, is the nostalgia effect of rebuilding stuff. I'm looking forward to it because I don't want to buy a Switch.
And then finally, let's end it on something that's a very, very high note here. It's a video game that is very near and dear to our heart. It's one that there will be a tournament between us and 5 other competitors. We call it the King of Combat.
King of Combat, baby.
KOK.
KOK.
Cock for short.
King of Combat's way too long to say. So.
Yes. But anyways, the game that we were talking about is Mortal Kombat 11.
Man,
beautiful.
I'm so happy with how they rebuilt it too.
They did it just right, you know what I mean? He came out there just seemed like he was going to give out an
Right.
award.
Right.
Like they were going to waste this man
Exactly.
in my time coming up there to present an award. Okay. But no, man, the spear went through the thing, and
then the symbol. And for a moment, I thought they were just going to show the symbol.
I would have been okay with that still, too.
I would not have been okay with that.
I would have been okay with that. Like,
I want a trailer.
I know it's here.
What
They
if-
gave us a trailer.
What if they would have played the original Mortal Kombat song as the intro? And then,
you know what I mean? Like,
I-
get your goosebumps in
I didn't have some people were having an issue with the 21 Savage track being
21.
but I feel like a lot of those people never heard of 21, so they were like, what is this? What is this music here?
Who is this guy?
Right.
Why is he screaming?
I thought that was cool. I am really interested to see kind of how they'll do MK11 different than MKX, because you always got to do something a little bit different. Obviously, they're keeping the character variations. They've even talked about you can cosmetically change how your character looks.
You want to keep your character cute, right?
Pink.
Gotta keep them cute. You're gonna see a pink scorpion.
Shoot out pink flames.
Get over here!
Shooting a flower at him.
I just hope it doesn't really tweak the stats.
I don't want that. I want basic, just keep the characters all how they are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Tweak it and nerf them when you got to, if one's too overpowered, like you usually
Just
do.
don't nerf Sub-Zero.
Hey, he got screwed on one of the last updates that they had. They took away some your combo, his combo was like
the same button.
it was like 1-1-1, forward 1, something like that. And he gets 40 off on
forward
it.
2.
And then you have to use one bar in it.
Down back 1, down back 1. See earlier.
And that's what he did in Injustice though with Supergirl.
I'm here to tell you, as a champion in this league of Mortal Kombat, I'm so ready.
You got a trophy when it didn't count.
And no one even remembers your classic Dusty Trophy right now.
Look, trash talking aside, unfortunately these guys, I'm gonna mop the floor with both of them. And y'all see that. He's gonna be Sub-Zero. He's gonna have 10 different characters, and none of which he'll be good at. And that'll be that.
I'll have one Zony character.
Yeah, I bet you can't get past it either. Bet you can't get past it.
Ooh, man.
You know what, something I guess I want to point out is how good of a job they really did with that whole opening ceremony, with having the 3 big companies, Xbox or Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo. And kudos to them for lining them up in order. First, second, third.
So
PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo.
That's what we're saying.
When
right?
you have Microsoft
Sony was first, baby.
Yeah, so they're on bottom, you know. Microsoft was in the middle.
Yeah, and Microsoft is like this. Hey, boys, I'm leading the pack.
It was from left to right.
He's saying good luck next year. That's why that PlayStation guy was quiet up there. He didn't know what to say.
But that was a cool thing, though. That's never happened before. And I think that, you know, it's just a good thing for the community, but it really put Phil in his place. It really put the Nintendo guy in their place, too, and let them know that Sony is ahead of the pack. And did that in front of the gaming community.
I felt like the gaming community only saw Phil in the middle, you know what I mean? Because my eyes are
in the middle.
In the middle, towards the stage. Of course you put Xbox right there. We're in front of the line. We're here. We're ready.
Just because you guys have an infatuation with Phil doesn't mean that it was meant to be the first. No.
He's our hero.
Sean, Phil, and then that Nintendo guy.
What's his name?
I don't know. What is his name?
Nintendo guy.
Nintendo guy.
Mr. Game & Watch.
Mr. Game & Watch. But I was really happy with the VGAs.
I was too, you know. Just one bad call, but that's about it.
What was the bad call?
What was the bad call?
Game of the year, of course.
Upset of the year, yeah, you're right. that's
I haven't seen a ring.
I told y'all, God of War, game of the generation. Hands down.
Nick was on everybody's phone casting votes for God of War. Please.
When y'all wasn't looking, I just, let me get that, put that in real quick.
No, but good show.
It was great. Yeah, we really enjoyed it.
Awesome. And that's going to conclude this episode of Let's Talk, Chit Chat, whatever you guys want to name it. We'll go off of that. But I'm Willy Shakes, you got Vinny, and you got OG Vestuto.
Thanks, guys.